The It Gets Better project was created to show young LGBT people the happiness, potential, and positivity their lives can reach.
The Greek community at Northwestern is made up of over 42 organizations with members from diverse backgrounds.
Despite our differences as fraternities and sororities, we all stand for brotherhood, sisterhood, leadership, service, and scholarship.
We know that bullying occurs in middle schools, high schools, and on college campuses across the country.
And as fraternity and sorority leaders, it is now our time to stand up against bullying.
To anyone who is feeling bullied because of how they identify, please know that you don't have to be a victim.
Have the courage to stand up for yourself and know that we stand with you.
I guess one thing that I could tell you about is my personal experience of bullying. And the main reason that I was bullied, especially in grade school, was because I'm biracial. So I'm Puerto Rican and black. And, I was the butt of a lot of jokes. I was called the spigger. Not exactly something that you want to be called, considering that it's two derogatory terms put together.
The story doesn't really stem from an identity issue. It was more so as a child I had a disability with a very long name. I don't really even remember it. And it was big enough to make it difficult for me socially, but small enough that most people just saw me as a kid who was like way too nice. So that actually made my life really difficult because people couldn't tell I had a problem. They just saw me as a little bit odd.
When I was there in about the 9th grade, I started to think that I might be gay, and it was a really hard time for me. I didn't want to be at all. I thought it was wrong. I had been brought up to think that anything deviating from sex outside of marriage between like a husband and a wife was definitely wrong.
I never fit in. I was an outlier simply because I was Chinese. I was an outlier because I was a girl and I didn't care about certain girl things, and I was an outlier because my parents were immigrants, and I could go through all of these, but I think in the end I just didn't fit in. And not only that, but I didn't fit in with the Chinese community either. I was the kid that other Asian parents wouldn't let their kids play with. I was considered a bad influence.
I actually came out, per se, when I was pretty young. I was in high school and I was 14, and I just kind of thought, damn, it might be nice to kiss a girl, and I did, and it was wonderful. And from then on, I just kind of was always pretty open with my friends, and I think what people appreciate is being open and not concealing part of who you are, because when you really do talk to your friends and you talk to your parents and you talk to your family members, people either accept you or they don't.
So I didn't want to be gay, and at first I tried to ignore it, and then I would pray to God to try to change me to be straight, and it was really a horrible time, and I didn't feel comfortable enough to tell anyone about this. It was something that I was really nervous about even admitting to myself. And so finally, about a year or two later, when I really realized that no, this was something I couldn't change, I had to accept about myself. It's not something that I had control over or that I thought God would really even want to change in me. I started to slowly come out to just a couple of my closest friends.
I pretended that I didn't care, but of course I did. And it wasn't until that I was able to get away from all of that that I can kind of see it's the vast majority of all of that wasn't about me. It was about them. And it was about them not understanding difference or them not being comfortable with it. It wasn't me.
I'd been very strong up to this point, but I wanted an easy way out, so it was mild, but I did begin to self-injure. And so again, comparatively mild, couldn't have ended up in a hospital or anything like that, but it was there, and it became a habit that's been very difficult to break, that I just started just as an easy way out, and I wish I hadn't, because it's put me in a very bad place mentally throughout my life trying to get over it.
I just found a really great support system, and I know it's cliche, but I found God, found my spirituality. I found so many friends that actually accepted me for who I was and celebrated the fact that I was biracial. My family definitely was always there to support me.
I think when you're young, everything feels so strange and it feels so new, and everything just comes at you all at once. And so it's very hard to take time and figure it all out. And again, the older you get, the more you realize that all those things that you thought set you apart actually make you stand out. And so instead of fearing everything that made you different, you kind of embrace it.
As you get older and people kind of understand who you are, it doesn't matter. And you don't need to always be around people who are of your same sexuality, but just having people that are understanding and to the point where it's not an issue. It's just another part of who you are. Like, I have red curly hair and I like my leather boots and I like women. Like, no big deal. It's just another part of who I am. So I think the best part and the most important role that my family and friends have played is just to be understanding and not to consider it any more important than any other part of me.
At the end of the day, who are they to define who I am and what being black is or what being Puerto Rican is? I know who I am and I'm comfortable with that.
If I let my experiences, like, from most of my life completely break me down, I wouldn't be here, but I'm here. And so, like, you know, for the first time it sounds cheesy, but for the first time I'm really proud to say that I'm Becky Lang. Like, my whole life, that name, hearing my name would upset me, just because people had such a negative connotation attached to it whenever I go to school and hear my name. And now I have friends who care about me, so I like my name.
I think it's extremely important to find someone who you trust, to find someone who you know isn't going to judge you no matter what, and to tell them everything you need to say. To just write it down or make a phone call and tell them everything, because someone will listen to you and someone will care, and there's always someone that's going to be there for you.
Because I realized I wasn't alone anymore. And once I realized that God was in my life, and even in my darkest hours, because like he never let anything completely horrible happen to me, it was then that I was kind of able to let other people in who really deserved it.
College especially was really great for me. I found a lot of really great friends, and Northwestern especially. I just met people here who, as cheesy as it sounds, cared for me exactly as I was.
Lambda Theta Alpha has been a real support system. You know, they have opened up their doors to me to let me really be myself, to help me study, to just help me be comfortable.
The fraternity where everyone was so supportive and it didn't matter one bit, it made no difference at all being gay, that it really helped me accept myself and just helped me bond with all of the brothers and just feel more like a normal person.
I'm a proud and active sister of Delta Zeta, and I never thought I'd be in a group of women who cared about me. That was the last thing. Like, I always, like, thought about it and dreamed about it, like, oh, you know, maybe I'd be in a sorority, but, like, I never actually thought that could happen to me. And I'm here, and I love them, and they accept me, and it's wonderful, and I'm incredibly involved, and I do everything. Like, I would do anything for any of them. And I have a handful of amazing people who aren't in my sorority, who are in fraternities, who are not even in the Greek system at all, who are here, who really care about me.
Something that my teacher once told me was, you can survive almost anything for 2 minutes. So if you can survive the next 2 minutes, and then you can survive the next 2 minutes, and the next 2 minutes, that's going to add up to hours, and then days, and then months, and then years, and then you realize that you've survived it all, and you've come out on top. And it's just a little bit increments at a time.
I know that God played a very important role in helping me to get better and realize that it does get better.
You just need to find someone who's gonna care about you, because it's important. Your life is important. And don't give up, because it does get better. It gets better. And you're gonna find someone who loves you and who you can be with, and your parents are gonna love, and your friends are gonna accept, and it'll be good, and it'll get better.
Everything will be fine, and you will be fine, and you will find a place that you love, and it'll be great. It gets better.
It gets better.
It gets better.
On behalf of the Gamma Chi chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, we just want you to know that it gets better.
As a member of Sigma Psi Zeta Sorority Incorporated, we want you to know that it gets better.
And it gets better.
It gets better.
We're from Phi, and we're here to remind you that it gets better.
I'm a member of the Sigma Chi fraternity here at Northwestern. There are people to talk to and there are people to go to who can help you out. And it does get better.
We're the ladies and gentlemen of Evans Scholars, and we just want to say,
It gets better.
We're the gentlemen of Pi Kappa Alpha, and we just want to say,
It gets better.
Hi, we're the gentlemen of Omega Delta Phi, and we'd like to let you know that
It gets better.
We're Chi Omega Z chapter, and it gets better.
We are the diverse women of Sigma Lambda Gamma National Sorority Incorporated, and we say,
It gets better.
Hi, we're the members of Kappa Alpha Theta, and we just want to say,
It gets better.
Hi, we're the ladies of Delta Delta Delta, and we want to let you know that
it gets better.
Hi, we're the members of Kappa Kappa Gamma, and we just wanted to let you know that
it gets better.
We're the women of Delta Gamma, and we want to say,
it gets better.